Your chest deep in freezing black water. It's 2:13 a.m. No moon, no sound, no help. Your arms are locked around a rubber boat that weighs more with every second. Your muscles are shaking, your lungs burn, saltwater fills your nose. A voice cuts through the darkness. Don't you quit, not here. You don't know who said it. You don't care. Because the man next to you just let go. And no one went after him. Not yet. Not ever. This is the moment most soldiers break. But this is just the beginning. Stage 1, the arrival where confidence dies. You thought you were ready. Top of your class, strong, disciplined, maybe even decorated. Back in your unit, you were the guy others looked up to. But here, you're nobody. The first thing they take from you isn't your gear. It's your identity. No ranks, no titles, no past. Just a number. And a simple rule. Prove you belong or leave. The instructors don't yell right away. That would be too easy. Instead, they watch. Every move, every hesitation, every glance. They're studying you the way predators study prey. Because they're not looking for strength. They're looking for weakness. And they will find it. The days blur together instantly. No warm-up, no adjustment period. Just pain. Long runs that never seem to end. Log carries that crush your shoulders. Endless push-ups in sand that grinds into your skin. Sleep. That's a luxury you don't get anymore. You close your eyes for what feels like seconds. And suddenly you're being dragged back to your feet. But here's the truth no one tells you. Physical pain isn't what breaks most soldiers. It's doubtful. You start asking questions. Why am I here? Can I actually do this? Am I enough? And that voice. It gets louder every day. But that's not what breaks people. Not yet. What breaks them comes next. If you were here right now, already exhausted, already doubting yourself, would you push forward or would you walk away? Comment below. Stage 2, the breaking point where most quit. Day 3. Or maybe day 5. You've lost track. Time doesn't exist anymore. Only suffering. Your uniform is soaked, your skin is raw, your body feels heavier than ever. And then they say it. Welcome to evolution. This is where everything changes. You're pushed past exhaustion into something worse. A place where your body stops responding. Where your legs move, but you don't feel them. Where your mind drifts, but you're still awake. They don't just test your strength. They destroy your rhythm. You run, then swim, then carry, then crawl. No pattern, no predictability. Because in real operations, there is no schedule. And then comes the cold. The water again. Always the water. You lock arms with your team. Shivering, teeth rattling, muscles cramping. The instructors walk behind you. Watching. Waiting. This is where the real test begins. Not of strength, but of will. One man starts shaking uncontrollably. Another whispers, I can't feel my hands. Someone else is already gone. Pulled out silently when he stopped responding. You want to quit. God, you want to quit. All you have to do is say the words. Or ring the bell. 3 simple rings. And the pain stops. But here's the problem. If you quit now, you'll remember this moment for the rest of your life. Every time things get hard, you'll remember that you walked away, but if you stay, you might break anyway. And that's the truth. Most soldiers don't quit because they're weak. They quit because they're human. But you're still here. Barely. Shaking, breathing, surviving. And just when you think it can't get worse, it does. Don't skip this next part because what happens after this stage is where even the strongest candidates collapse. Stage 3, the team trust or failure. You thought this was about you. It's not. It never was. Special operations doesn't care how strong you are alone. Because you will never fight alone. Now everything changes. You're assigned to a team. And suddenly, your survival depends on people you barely know. One guy is slower than everyone else. Another is mentally cracking. One is strong but selfish. And one, you don't trust him at all. But here's the reality. If one fails, you all fail. The instructors know this. They exploit it. They give you impossible tasks. Carry this weight for miles. Build this structure with no instructions. Navigate terrain with no sleep. And they don't tell you how to do it. They just watch. Tension builds fast. Arguments start. Blame gets thrown around. Move faster. You're slowing us down. Get it together. You feel it too. Frustration, anger, doubt. Because deep down, you know someone here might be the reason you don't make it. But here's the twist. That someone might be you. This is where most candidates fail without realizing it. Not because they're weak, but because they can't let go of ego. They try to lead too much. Or not at all. They focus on themselves instead of the mission. And the instructors see everything. Every reaction. Every decision. Every mistake. They're not building soldiers. They're selecting survivors. So you adjust. You stop thinking like an individual. You start thinking like a unit. You help the weakest. You listen more than you speak. You move as one. And slowly, something changes. The team starts working. Flowing. Surviving. But just when you start to trust them, that trust is tested. Hard. If your success depended on people you don't trust, would you carry them or cut them loose? Be honest, comment below. You've made it further than most. You didn't quit. You didn't break. You adapted. But now, they take everything to another level. Because surviving training, that's not enough. Next, they find out who you really are under pressure. Under chaos. Under fear. And what they discover decides who moves forward and who disappears. Stage 4, controlled chaos, where your mind turns against you. You're running through the woods. No light, no map, no clear direction. Just a compass and a pounding heartbeat that won't slow down. It's been over 20 hours since you last slept. Maybe more. Time is broken now. Branches snap under your boots, every shadow feels like movement, every sound feels like a threat. And then, a loud crack echoes somewhere in the distance. Gunfire. Or something meant to sound like it. You don't stop. You can't. This isn't just physical anymore. This is psychological warfare. They call it controlled chaos. But there's nothing controlled about how it feels inside your head. You're given missions that don't make sense. Orders that contradict each other. Deadlines that are impossible. Be at checkpoint Alpha in 30 minutes. It's an hour away. Carry this equipment. It weighs more than you do. Make the right decision. But there is no right decision. This is where most soldiers begin to unravel. Not visibly. Not dramatically. Quietly. Internally. You start second-guessing everything. Every step, every choice, every instinct. And that voice comes back. Louder than ever. You're not cut out for this. You're going to fail. You don't belong here. But hear what makes this stage different. You can't silence that voice. You have to move with it. Because hesitation. That's failure. One wrong turn in navigation, and you're hours behind. One bad call in a scenario, and your entire team pays for it. You see it happen. A candidate freezes for just a moment. That's it. One moment. And suddenly, he's out. No speech, no warning. Just gone. That's when it hits you. Perfection isn't required. But hesitation is punished. So you make a choice. Not the perfect one. Just a decision. And you commit. You move faster. Think sharper. Act without overthinking. And slowly, you start adapting to the chaos. But then they do something worse. They take away your control completely. Right now, if everything around you felt uncertain and wrong, would you trust your instincts or freeze? Comment below. Stage 5, interrogation and capture, break the body, shatter the mind. You're exhausted. Hungry. Barely functioning. And then it happens, you're captured. Hands zip-tied. Head covered. Pushed to the ground. Your heart spikes instantly. Even though you know it's training. Your body doesn't care. Because fear. Fear is real. You're dragged, thrown, yelled at. Voices surround you. Aggressive, loud, unpredictable. They strip away what little control you had left. No more movement. No more decisions. No more teams. Just you. In pressure. Hours pass. Or minutes. You can't tell anymore. They start questioning you. Simple things at first. Name, unit, mission. Then it changes. They get closer. Louder. More personal. They push your limits. Physically. Mentally. Emotionally. You're cold, starving, disoriented. Your body is screaming. Your mind is slipping. And this is where most people don't understand the truth. This stage isn't about what you say. It's about how long you can hold yourself together. Because eventually, everyone breaks. The question is, how? Do you panic? Do you give in completely? Do you lose control? Or do you hold on to something? Anything that keeps you grounded. A thought. A memory. A purpose. You hear someone else break. Not screaming. Not crying. Just giving up. And it hits you harder than anything else so far. Because it's not dramatic. It's quiet. And that's how people disappear here, not with a bang. But with silence. Your turn comes again. The pressure builds. Voices get louder. Closer. And your body reaches its limit. But your mind. That's the battlefield now. Be honest, under extreme pressure, no control, no escape, how long would you last? Minutes, hours, comment below. Stage 6, the filter, who they really keep. You made it through. Barely. You're still standing. But you don't feel the same. Something changed back there. You're quieter now. More focused. Less emotional. Because you've seen what breaking looks like. Up close. Now comes the part no one talks about. Selection. This is where they decide. Not based on scores. Not based on strength. But on something harder to measure. Consistency. Adaptability. Mental control, they review everything. Every action you took. Every reaction you had. Every moment you hesitated. Or didn't. The loud ones. Usually gone. The strongest. Not always here anymore. The fastest. Sometimes cut. Because none of that guarantees survival. They're looking for something else. Someone who doesn't panic under chaos. Someone who doesn't break under pressure. Someone who doesn't quit. Even when quitting makes sense. And here's the twist. You don't know if you're that person. No one does. You stand in formation. Waiting. Heart pounding. Names start getting called. Some step forward. Some don't. Each name is called. Life has changed, each name not called. Is a silent ending. And in that moment, you realize something terrifying. Making it this far doesn't guarantee anything. Because this isn't about effort anymore. It's about identity. Who you are. When everything else is stripped away. If your entire future came down to one decision someone else made about you, would that terrify you or motivate you? Comment below. If your name gets called, everything changes. But not in the way you think. Because passing selection. That's not the finish line. It's the beginning, now comes the real world. Real missions. Real consequences. And this is where the truth hits hardest. Most soldiers wouldn't survive the U.S. Special Operations units. Not because of training, but because of what comes after. Stage 7, the real world where training meets truth. You're on a helicopter. Night again. Always night. The vibration runs through your bones, your gear is tight, your weapon feels heavier than ever. But this time, there are no instructors. No safety net. No reset. This is real. You look around. Same faces from training. But something's different now. No one is trying to prove anything anymore. No ego, no noise. Just focus. Because out there, mistakes don't mean failure. They mean death. The door slides open. Cold air slams into your face. The world below is dark, silent, waiting. And suddenly, all that training, it wasn't about strength. It wasn't about endurance. It was about this moment. You hit the ground. Fast, controlled, precise. Every movement matters. Every second counts. There's no yelling now. Only whispers. Hand signals. Breathing. Your heart is steady. Not because you're calm, but because you've learned how to function inside chaos. This is what most soldiers never experience. And this is exactly why. Most soldiers wouldn't survive U.S. Special Operations units. Because this world, it doesn't forgive hesitation. Right now, if one wrong move could cost lives, would you trust yourself completely or second-guess everything? Comment below. Stage 8, Brotherhood, the weight you don't expect. The mission ends. You made it back. No celebration. No speeches. Just silence. You sit there. Gear still on. Hands still shaking slightly. And then you look at your team. These aren't just teammates anymore. They're something else. Because they saw you at your weakest. And you saw them too. No lies, no masks. Just survival. This is brotherhood. But not the kind you imagined. It's not loud. It's not emotional. It's built on something heavier. Trust under pressure. You know exactly who will move when it matters. Who won't hesitate. Who won't break. And they know the same about you. But here's the part no one tells you. This brotherhood comes with a cost. Because one day, not everyone comes back. It happens fast. Too fast. One mission, one mistake, one moment. Final. And suddenly, there's an empty space where someone used to be. No warning. No closure. Just absence. And you're expected to keep going. No time to process. No time to grieve. Because the next mission is already waiting. Could you handle that, losing someone beside you and still stepping forward the next day? Be honest. Stage 9, the aftermath, the battle never ends. People think the hardest part is over. It's not. Because the real battle, it follows you home. You're back in a normal world now. Lights, noise, people. But something feels off. Too slow. Too quiet. Too easy. You sit in a room full of people. And still feel alone. Because they don't understand. They can't. How do you explain? What does it feel like to operate in darkness? To make decisions where lives are on the line? To lose people and keep moving? You don't. So you stay quiet. But your mind doesn't. It replays everything. Moments, sounds, faces, the mission never really ends. And this is where another truth hits. Not everyone who survives the battlefield survives what comes after. That's why most soldiers wouldn't survive here. Not because they're weak, but because of this life. It stays with you. Always. The truth no one admits. You started this journey thinking it was about strength. About being tougher than everyone else. But now you understand. This world isn't built for most people. Not because they can't run far enough. Or lift heavy enough. But because they can't live like this. Constant pressure. Constant risk. Constant sacrifice. To be here, you have to give something up. Comfort. Normal life. Peace of mind. And sometimes, a part of yourself. So when people ask, why wouldn't most soldiers survive U.S. Special Operations units? This is the answer. Because it doesn't just test your body. It takes your mind, your identity, and your soul. And asks, how much are you willing to lose? And most people, they're not willing to lose that much. So now I want to ask you, after seeing everything, every stage, every sacrifice, every truth, which part would break you first, or do you think you'd make it all the way? Comment below. I read every single one. And if you made it this far, you already understand more than most. Because surviving this world, it isn't about being the strongest. It's about being the last one still standing. When everything inside you is telling you to quit.